guest is not only a talented actress, but also a remarkable author. Please welcome our girl, Grace Byers. Hey, Grace!
Grace!
Good to see you, Grace. Now, you recently said that you were making room for more joy in your life. How has that been going for you, and how can others do the same? Because we need it.
We need the joy.
Yeah, I think this became a bit of a realization during the pandemic, but two things really stand out for me when it comes to cultivating joy. And one is intentionality and the other is boundaries. And I realized that, during the pandemic, this was a time where everybody wanted everybody's attention. And all of a sudden you saw like an influx in like the news and marketing and all of this kind of stuff. And there were no boundaries that I was setting around, how much I was consuming on with the outside world, the news, social media. And all of a sudden it's like, I was checking within and I'm just like, why am I feeling, there's so much anxiety. Clearly it's the pandemic. And so I got really intentional. And so I started, saying, okay, this is how much I want to consume when it comes to the news. This is how much I want to consume when it comes to social media. I really want to sculpt out time for the things that make me happy. And I had to check in. What makes me happy now? And so a lot of it was cooking and taking like 5 to 10 minute dance, sessions alone in my house.
Wow.
I love that.
Trying new things.
Well, another moment of joy for you is your hit show on Amazon,
Yes,
Harlem. It's been picked up for season 2. Congrats.
Congrats.
Now, the show centers around a group of girlfriends navigating through life and relationships. How was it working on the show with all those women?
You know what? It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. I think one of my personal passions in life is to uplift and empower other women.
Right.
And so it was really wonderful to be in a circumstance where you just really felt that energy from everybody. We all really wanted to make this show wonderful and relatable, and we all have each other's backs. And so it was a truly joyous experience. And so, it was something that I really treasure. And so I'm so excited. It kind of feels surreal to be able to get another season to be able to do that. And not only did we have a cast full of women, but our showrunner, Tracy Oliver, is a woman as well.
Bravo.
Black woman. And,
Yes.
she is amazing and just so supportive. And I'm telling you, man, like who you have at the leadership position in any organization is going to make a difference.
That's right.
And so she's just such an amazing leader and really creates the tone for our cast.
Wow.
That is incredible. I love the show. Me and my girlfriends watch. It is so good. You guys are so talented. And I also love the show's message, just of representation. How important was that for you in taking this role?
That was extremely important. What I really loved about Tracy is that she really wanted to, no one show is going to represent everybody and everything, right? But she really wanted to try to find a way that she could have as much diversity and as much inclusivity as she could possibly get in there in the most organic way. And so just the idea of my Caribbean background, Tracy was like, I really want to lean into that. That's organic. That is inclusive. That is real to you. And that's a big part of New York culture as well, right?
Yes.
Lots of Caribbean people. And so her wanting to lean into that and me actually playing something that I am, which is a Caribbean American, it meant the world to me. And I see that too in Jerry's role, just being, a member of the LGBTQ community, being a Black woman and being in tech, right? So that's a very specific type of representation we don't really see often as well. And so all of these little bits that just kind of make the show really representative for a lot of people is what makes it special.
We always say representation matters
for sure.
And I hear that the chemistry comes naturally for you and your co-stars. You ladies know how to have a good time, even when the cameras aren't rolling. So what's going on behind the scenes, Grace?
We've seen.
Oh, let me tell you, one thing that and this just kind of organically developed because of all of our personalities, but one thing we absolutely do, I don't know if you've heard of like people do push-ups to keep the morale going in the cast. Well, we do twerking. We twerk.
I saw on Megan's Instagram. Megan posted it on her Instagram. Girl, I've seen you twerk.
Yes, it doesn't matter what scene we're doing. It doesn't matter how sad the circumstances are in that moment for the scene. Like, the crew has discovered that if they play some twerky, twerk music, it don't matter what's happening. We will be like, yes, wait, girl. And we will just
Hey.
it's so much fun.
I love that. Well, we actually have a clip from Harlem. Let's take a look.
Mom, all businesses operate at a deficit in the beginning.
But yours remain there. The juice bar, the spa.
Well, this is different. This is what I was supposed to be doing all along. Mom, I've been trying really hard to turn a profit. The least you could do is acknowledge that.
Acknowledged. And you should acknowledge that one wedding dress does not a successful business make. What size do you think I am now?
6.
I am 10 cauliflower pizzas away from a 4.
Then you'll be my size.
Interesting, considering I have had 2 children.
Come on, Jasmine guy.
Come on, Jasmine guy. I love her.
I love it. I love it.
So great. Now, Grace, you're also an incredible author of 2 children's books that are out right now, and they're about female empowerment and just respect for diversity. Why did you decide to write these books?
I really feel like when you reach adulthood, you realize that a lot of the things, as you start to discover who you are and as you start to kind of latch on to who you feel like your identity is now, you realize that a lot of things that you work through has to do with some of the things that have been impressed upon you as a child, right? So it's either things that you've gone through, experiences that you found, traumatic, or all of us have them, right? And so I think that identity really made me think about identity and think about, your identity really forms from the time that you're a child.
Yep.
And so I just thought it was really important that as we were reading our bedtime stories, as we were in school, having story time, that the language and the narrative that we were giving our children was that around embracing yourself, knowing your identity, knowing your value, knowing that you are enough, knowing that you don't have to prove any of this to anybody in order to truly lean into who you truly are and be raised with the mentality that who you are is just more than enough. So
Yeah.
I think those 2 books really lean into that conversation.
And
So needed.
being biracial and growing up with 2 deaf parents, you shared some of your struggles you faced as a child. What has writing these books done for you on a personal level?
Truthfully, they've been a little cathartic for me.
I can imagine.
It's like I look at these images and I look at these words and I wish that I had them growing up,
Yes.
and so they meant so much to me. Like they are so familiar to me. I can recite them from memory, but I remember when I Am Enough first came out and everyone was like, read the book for us. And I was like, sure. And as I'm reading, I'm like getting really emotional. And it took like a whole year before I could actually read the book and not like cry in the end, because the words mean so much to me even now as an adult. And I feel truthfully that they mean a lot to each and every one of us, because I'm not sure. I think every single person at some point in their life has wondered about their identity, has wondered about their value and their worth as a human being. And so that's just something that I would love to add my voice to the idea of your worthiness and your value, and
You're
just
so good at that.
Just being as you are.
Knowing you and hanging out with you, you walk in that every single day and
Such a good
empowering
light.
people. You are
A good
such a light, exactly like Lonnie just said. Grace, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing all of your beaming, bright energy. Harlem has been renewed for season 2. Catch up on all episodes from season 1, now on Prime Video.